Welcome to my podcast, Today's Dream, Tomorrow's Reality. My name is Vicki Poole. I'm a certified life coach, health coach, and hypnotherapist. And this podcast is all about embracing our mosaic life. And some of you may ask, what is a mosaic life? Well, it's recognizing that all the pieces of our life, the good, the bad, the indifferent, have all come together to make us who we are. Change any one thing, and we are different. With that in mind, I invite you to embrace your perceived imperfections, and we will dive into our dreams, looking at where your dreams come from, and are they really yours? This podcast is unedited and raw, just like life. And I will be your host, and we will have special guests from time to time. If you have any ahas or questions, please leave a comment or voice message. So now, let's get started. And one of the things that I wanted to talk about today, since we're just getting started with this mosaic life, and we're not getting started with it, but we're just starting to talk about it on this podcast. I guess that's the better way of saying it. But I don't know if you're aware of, and I think it's the Japanese culture. I hate to say that I don't know for sure, but I think it's the Japanese culture. They have a thing called Kintsugi, and it's where they take pottery that's been broken, and they, instead of tossing it away, they actually put gold in these cracks and create this most amazing, beautiful pottery. So if you've never seen it, definitely go and check it out. Go and Google it. It's Kintsugi is how it's spelled. And it's amazing. And it is really, it's a metaphor for life. And so we take our mosaic life, which has bits and pieces of all the different things that have happened to us in our life. We create this pottery, and there's little cracks and pieces in there where things happened to us that were maybe not so good, and they ended up creating this little void in there. And so what we're talking about is actually going in there and putting the gold in there and letting us be aware that all of these things that happened in our lives created who we are. And even though I have my issues sometimes, um, and I have my doubts and all these different things, it's looking at our lives and the things that have happened to us and recognizing that those things created who we are. So like I said in the intro, if we go back and we change anything in our history, it changes who we are. Now, some of the things that have happened in our lives may not change us drastically. It may not be like the movie Back to the Future, and that may be aging me a little bit. I don't know how many kids or young people these days have even seen it, but hopefully, I mean, to me, it's a cult classic. But anyway, they changed some things in there, and then when he gets back into his future life or his current life, everything is very different. His parents are different, his siblings are different, he's different. So it may not be that drastic a change, but it would be a change. And I, for myself, I like who I am. And I may even be repeating myself at this point. I don't even know. But if I am, you just have to forgive me. But it's something that's really important to be aware of, is that, embrace who you are. And the other thing is, the name of this podcast is Today's Dreams, Tomorrow's Reality. And one of the things we're going to be diving in a lot deeper as we keep going on these podcasts, and I'm going to have guests on periodically for to talk about their lives and how different things, how it all kind of comes together in with what our topic is. But when you think about your dreams, a lot of times our dreams are things that people have recommended, or people have told us you're supposed to want, or, you know, that kind of thing. And we look at life through our own filter, our lens of what's happened to us in the past. And you may be aware of this. I do not know, but I think it's Joe Dispenza talks about it. But we get like 20,000, or maybe it's even 50,000 bits of information per second that are coming at us. And so what we do is we filter through those things. It's almost like swimming in a stream, you know, and there's all these things coming at us, and we'll just kind of pick out little things that we want to pay attention to. And the things that we choose to pay attention to all come to us because of our filter of the things that people have said, or the things that have been done, or what we have had people tell us. Like, one of the things is that if someone ever told you that you weren't smart, you know, you're going to filter out anything that would imply that you're smart. And so we filter everything in our life. And so the interesting thing is, like, I've done a lot of research over the years, and I hate to admit, but a lot of the research I've done, I remember the facts, but I don't really remember who to give credit to for what I'm saying. So I just take that with the knowledge that it didn't come from me, but I don't remember who actually shared this study, this information. But there was a study, and they had people that were that all saw the something happen, and then they would go in and they would interview each one of those people. Now, they were all standing there and saw the exact same thing happen, but they all had a different recount of what happened, what it meant, how it felt, all these different things. And the reason is that we all have different perspectives. We have different ideas of things, and we feel differently about things that happen. Someone that has been downtrodden most of their life, and they've been beaten down, and things are just not good, then their filter is how horrible life is. And someone that has had a good experience in life, and let's face it, sometimes it's the same thing could happen to two different people, and one will perceive it as being a travesty, and one will have it as an epiphany, a blessing. So we have to take that with a grain of salt as well. But the thing that's interesting is that when you ask somebody something, they're only giving their perspective depending on what their filter on the life is. And so when you ask somebody about something, and they give you this negative review of something, sometimes you have to think, well, would I feel the same? Because you might not. And so I think that's really, really an interesting perspective that we need to look at. You know, we need to recognize what our filters are, where we're coming from. And if we want to change that, then we have to change our filter. The thing too is that as you're looking back on your life, and a lot of times people look back at things that happened, and they relive them, and they feel all this angst. And so one of the things that I do with my clients is I help them, if this is something that they want to do, if they want to go back and see these different things, there's ways that we can go back and look. And it's taking the emotion out, so they can almost see it as a bystander, and they don't have to experience it again in whatever manner it was. And we can almost create a whole new narrative about it. And so you can really do this on your own. But I will say, for myself, sometimes, most of the time, I know certain things, but it's like I just don't. I need someone else to look at it, to give me a perspective that I can't see. It's kind of like you can't see the hole you're in because you're in the hole, but the people up above on the ground can see the hole you're in and tell you how to get out. So that may be a kind of a weird way to look at it, but that is, we need a different set of eyes a lot of times, or a different set of ears to hear what someone says and say, well, when you thought they were being rude to you, I don't think that's the truth. I think from what I heard, it was this. And so having someone else to be a soundboard, or someone to kind of just look at things for you, can help you a lot. It's kind of, with me, it's like I can talk to my clients and I can help my clients, and then sometimes I have to have someone else to coach me. Generally, always I need someone else to be coaching me so that I can get past things that I don't see, because the old saying is you don't know what you don't know, and sometimes you just don't know. So that's what we're going to be diving into. I know that seems like a very broad, strange kind of thing. I kind of went down a rabbit hole, but that's okay. It is our mosaic life after all. And like I said, it's raw and unedited. So it is what it is. So you have a fabulous life, I guess, just in case I don't see you soon. But just definitely look at your life and be grateful for where you are and who you are, even though it may not seem like there's a lot to be grateful for. We'll dive into that a little bit more at some point too. But dream your dreams and be aware if they're your dreams at all. We'll dive into that one too. You have a fabulous, fabulous time. Mwah.